Hi, and welcome to another episode of Beyond Basics Crochet. I am Jessica Hackworth, the Assistant Branch Manager and Children's Librarian of Cooper River Memorial, and today this video will teach you how to increase and decrease, and this is a very good technique to kind of learn and to create certain shapes, or also if you're creating any sort of project that requires stuffing, so like stuffed animals or even some pillows, especially ones that need a more spherical shape. Alright, let's get to it. Okay, so I'm going to show you two ways to do increasing and decreasing depending on what you're doing. So right here is my sample of kind of more the 2D crochet, so just basic rows and stitches. So first we're going to do increasing, and increasing is where you put two stitches when you do a stitch, like when you continue across the row you put two instead of just one. And so for this sample I have 15 half double crochets right here, so I'm going to increase it by 2, and I'm going to try to keep it even by putting just one extra on each end. So in this first one, I'm going to put 2 half doubles. 1, 2. And then I'll put a single half double in the rest until I get to the very end of this row. Okay, and then in this last stitch I'm going to put 2 instead of just 1. So I've increased by 2. So now there are 17 stitches in this row. And so as you can see, that's going to widen the shape a little bit. And I'm just going to do it one more time. I'm going to increase by 2 one more time. So 1, 2. Alright. So you can see right there how it's kind of just winding out, and it's kind of going more at an angle. So then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to decrease. And decreasing is where you kind of combine 2 stitches to make just one. So for these first 2 stitches, I'm going to basically combine them. So I do it like I'm doing a normal stitch. So in a half double you just do yarn over and then you just pull all the way through. So I'm just going to pull through these first 2, and then I'm going to start another one in the second one and then pull all the way through. And so that creates a decrease. So I just combined those 2 stitches into one. And then you can continue like normal with 1 in every stitch. And so what I'm going to do for these last 2 is I'm going to decrease. So I'm going to combine them together to make one stitch. There we go. And so I'm just going to do that one more time. Decrease. And then the same thing in this one, just decrease it. Oh, I think I did that one wrong. Yep. So these are the ones that I'm supposed to decrease. And so there's our second decrease. All right. So that's basically what an increase and decrease look like for when you're creating more of the flat crochets. And then so we're going to move on to a magic ring increase and decrease, which is good for when you want to make anything circular, or if you're making a stuffed animal, or if you're making a spherical pillow. This is when you're going to use a lot of increasing and decreasing with the magic ring, which we have covered in a previous episode. So let me go ahead and make a magic ring. And so we're going to do 6 stitches for our first row. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pull it, and then we're going to start our second row. So starting our second row, we increase in all the stitches. So by the time we finish our second row, it should be 12 stitches altogether. So here's our first, oh, grab the wrong thing. Grab the wrong end. All right. Pull. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So what I like to do whenever I'm doing one like this, oh, I didn't realize that those two weren't connected. Whoops. Let's just tie those ends real quick. Didn't realize that was more than one piece, or more than one piece. Oh. So what I like to do when there's more than, or when I reach the row, I like to just get my bobby pins, but they also have special like crochet markers that you can use. And I like to mark the end of my row before I start the new one, just so that way I know. And a good tip to remember how many stitches you need for each row. You take your base stitch, the number of base stitches, and multiply it by the row number, and that's how many stitches. So we have 6 as our base stitch, that's what we start out with. Our second row was 12, so our third row, 6 times 3, we're going to need 18 stitches as we increase. And there's 2 ways we can increase from here. You can either do 2 in this first stitch, and then 1, and then 2, then 1, 2, then 1, until you get 18 stitches, or you can do 1, 2, 1, 2. Either way, it just depends on preference. But basically, as you want to just try to make sure it stays even throughout the row as you increase, and you just have to make sure you have 18 by the end of it. So 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And so when you're creating anything that has a circular shape, you'll just keep increasing until you get to the desired kind of just width that you want it, how big you want it. And that's when, if you're making something that needs to be stuffed, like a stuffed animal, you would do that same number of rows and then you would start decreasing. And so we're going to start decreasing. So it's very similar to the other one. You just basically what you do is you try to decrease down to the previous number of rows. So since we have 18, we need to decrease it down to 12. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that's how you decrease. And so basically I did the same thing when I was increasing. Decrease, 1 stitch, decrease, 1 stitch, decrease, 1 stitch. And so that's how you start a decrease. And basically what that will do is that will start helping you close your shape. And if you're stuffing, you kind of want to make sure that the opening stays big enough before you decrease enough that you need to close it up. All right, so that is for our increasing and decreasing tutorial. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial on increasing and decreasing, and I appreciate you for watching the video. Please check out CCPL's other videos, Twitter and Instagram, and also our YouTube channel, and I hope to see you in future videos. Bye-bye!